Yak Boys. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to show you something where the National Football League better understand this is the group that's helped the Pittsburgh Steelers get to 9-0. These are the Yak Boys. At the wide receiver position, I want y'all to check out these plays right here. What these wide receivers do very well for this offense. Big playability by rookie Chase Claypool and what he means to this offense. Big Ben has been stretching the field with him all season. There he is, the dancing machine himself, Mr. Juju Smith-Schuster. Being able to be a possession receiver on third down and being able to make the tough yards. And last but not least, Deontay Johnson, a Swiss Army knife. What he's able to do, his elusiveness, and he's slippery with the ball. They are amongst wide receivers in the National Football League. First amongst wide receivers in Yak Boys. You heard me talk about the self-proclaimed Yak Boys in San Francisco. The statistics speaks for themselves. While the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting here 9-0, everybody's talking about where their defense is playing. But the way that Big Ben is spreading the ball. Amongst wide receivers, they're second in the National Football League in touchdowns collectively as a group. First with the Seattle Seahawks. So the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers are 9-0, putting on film, they're coming out here showing up, and they're one of the biggest reasons why Big Ben is having the year he's having.
Randy, you know what's scary? Because, I get where you're coming from with those wideouts, but that doesn't even include Eric Ebron and James Conner. Like, holy cow.
Right.
Like, they are amazing. But, guys, if this isn't the biggest trap game in the history, because it really is, because you've got a big Thursday night tilt, basically win the division if you beat Baltimore again. So to me, they got to avoid that. And if you're Mike Tomlin, man, this is not a fun week if you're Pittsburgh Steelers, because I can promise you this. All the little tiny details, Tomlin's been hammering the heck out of on this.
And what's the tiny detail that he's been hammering this week? Being able to run the football, because they have to be able to do this to win a championship. Yeah, they're leaning on those receivers, Moss, and that very heavily since week 7, because since week 7, they're the worst team in the league in terms of running the football. What I say, beware the team that can only win one way. Yeah. And right now, the Steelers, they spread them out, they get into empty, they run spread, and they're throwing it. And it's Big Ben. They got to get the running game going, because they're going to be in a game, and this is a perfect time. Reestablish the running game against the Jacksonville Jaguar defense that's 25th in the league and stopping it, because you have to lean on that coming up in December, in January, if you want the championship.
By actually saying hard count is some impressive stuff.
Hard count. It's the most helpless feeling there is. You're in the middle, you're trying to hold back, and you see, no, he got me. He got me. Just keep rushing, Rex, and hit him.
You got to keep going, man. Forget it.
But part of the reason that they're so good at it is that they practice it. And this goes back, like Brett Favre started this in Green Bay in the Mike Holmgren years. They would practice this. And for wide receivers, when it's free play, it could be a running play. It could be fullback dive. Now all of a sudden it's go route. You just called my number.
Right.
And I think just like watching Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he uses his hardest hard count sometimes on running plays. Call comes in, it's a running call. It's like, I didn't really like that call. Hard count. Now it's a pass. Now we're going deep. Problem solved. They're really, really good at it, though.
Let's get to the Packers and the Colts, though, today. Teddy, when you look at these two teams, then the matchups are really interesting because you got good on good. But who do you think we'll learn more about today?
Today, I think we'll learn more about the Colts, I think, because this is a good team that just grinds out victories in different ways. But what I want to do is, there's one special player that, it takes a lot for you to get your eyes off of the quarterback, but I want to help the viewer here. I'm going to go over here to the touch screen.
All right.
What I want to do,
get ready.
For us as fans and as viewers, I want you to take your eyes off the quarterback in this game.
Come on.
Here.
Oh, it's coming.
Here.
I believe, Teddy.
That's the big guard.
There we go.
We got it now. Okay, so let me take your eyes, people, okay, from here on the quarterback over to the left guard. And that's Big Q. That's Quentin Nelson, because I promise you, you won't be disappointed, because when you dominate a man like this, in honor of being at Thanksgiving, this guy does a lot of eating. And he does eating of defensive linemen like that, how he does it. So from the quarterback to his left guard position, to watch him drive the pile right there and make that type of movement, it's just, coming from an old high school offensive guard and myself, it's just so great to see. So let's just a little bit of just nonstop of Quentin Nelson, what he does, how he finishes blocks, how he leads that offensive line, how they are the engine that protects not only Phillip Rivers but gets the run game going. And what he fights to do is put people on their back over and over again, just like that. And then that face you make, that I make when I watch him, just like, I don't know if I should like that, because I like it when a man is just dominating another human, and that's what he does, and that's Quentin Nelson, and that's what I'm looking forward to watching that matchup with that Packer D-line today, Sam.
You know, when you have two of the best offensive lines going against their opposing defense, I want to really talk about the Indianapolis Colts when they first started out slow, because they were getting used to a guy like Phillip Rivers, not that mobile in the pocket. And Rex, ever since you
called him out.
Well, forget it. How about we called him out?
We called him out.
All right. Well, ever since we called this man Phillip Rivers out on this show, he's been lights out, being able to find his running back, Nyheim Hines. And everybody's sitting up here wondering what's been going on in the passing game. Well, guess what? There's a wide receiver by the name of Zach Pascal that is leading the Indianapolis Colts in receiving. So today, going against the Green Bay Packers, I'm interested to see on third down, one, how Phillip Rivers is going to utilize Hines coming out of the backfield on third down, and then letting a guy like Pascal work the middle of the field to get the first, throw short of the marker and get the first down with just toughness.
You know what, you guys, talking about that matchup, Indianapolis offense against, that Green Bay defense, I mean, it's going to be great. But I can't wait to see the other side of the ball. And my brother, many years ago, Eric Mangini, said, go out and get the best defensive coach you can find in college football. He brought in a guy named Matt Eberflus. Well, right now, they lead the league in defense, and Matt Eberflus is doing an amazing job. We'll probably get a head coaching opportunity this coming up season. But, man, it's that cover two defense against Aaron Rodgers. I can't wait to watch it. And the two guys that I think it boils down to, look, the Colts, you got to credit them. They picked up Brinson Buckner, DeForest Buckner, not Brinson. That was my age. But DeForest Buckner might be one of the best defensive tackles in the league. And you've got to be a complete player there to play that cover two system, because it's seven-man spacing. So it was a huge get. And they had the best middle linebacker in football in Darius Leonard. This dude's all over the place. Randy, you and I talked about they disguised cover two and Tampa two because of this guy's ability. And, Brew, you played that position. When you're just playing regular cover two, you got to play the vertical, the three-receiver vertical hook. And very few people can do that. He's got to run down the middle of the field. And this guy, he's spectacular that way, but that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I mean, look, for Aaron Rodgers, he's excited. Hopefully, it looks like he's supposed to get Allen Lazard back, who is questionable but expected to play. We haven't seen him since week 3. And then for the Colts, Jack Doyle and the right tackle, Braden Smith, both questionable in this one. Let's get to our Dan Graziano, who's in Indy with more on this big matchup today. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Sam. You mentioned Allen Lazard. They will have him back today, but talking to Packers coaches, they're not sure exactly how much they're going to be able to use him. He's not going to probably have the kind of workload he had early in the season. They'll ease him back in, but they really are excited to have him back because he brings a